The story starts here, in the heart of the city.
We continue to follow the ongoing developments.
The student group is the first to take on such a project.
Everyone is waiting for a vote on the bill.
The team is winning at a record-breaking pace.
It's an issue for residents here and around Boston.
The story is coming up on Suffolk News.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Suffolk News, the weekly news program brought to you by the Department of Communication and Journalism at Suffolk University. I'm Vanessa Bine from Westboro.
And I'm Davison Perez from Dedham. We're happy to be coming to you from our studio in downtown Boston, courtesy of your cable company and on the internet.
We are just weeks away from the 119th Boston Marathon and we're in team coverage mode.
Today we have reports on the new official sneaker, another SU runner, but we start more seriously with security.
It has been 2 years since the 2013 bombings and last year's security was nearly doubled, something that we will see again this year. Joining us live here in the studio is Suffolk News reporter Tyler Sullivan. Where are you going to be on the marathon route this year?
I plan to be on Kenmore Square, maybe a little bit near Fenway, catch a little baseball, and then head over to the marathon and catch a little bit more of the runners. As up to 1 million people take the streets, takes an estimated 30,000 runners to complete the 26.2-mile journey. But because those two bombs are placed near the finish line, Mayor Marty Walsh says security along Boylston Street and the rest of the marathon route will be heavy.
Unfortunately, 2013 changed the way that we do the marathon, the way that in Boston we do the 4th of July, the way that we have gatherings with people. So we're going to have security out there, like in the past. You can't let your guard down, unfortunately. But we're still going to have the high security in a quiet way.
Watching runners complete the 26.2-mile journey now comes with security checkpoints and beefed-up police presence at this year's Boston Marathon. This is now the new normal, according to Mayor Marty Walsh, after Tamerlan and Johar Tsarnaev placed 2 pressure cooker bombs along Boylston Street, killing 3 people and injuring hundreds more nearly 2 years ago. At last year's marathon, 3,500 police officers were in the crowd, nearly double from the year before, while spectators were held to strict guidelines of what they could and could not bring into the marathon. That type of security is expected to be present again this year. Here at Suffolk University, officers will take the lead from BPD and keep its eyes open on Patriots Day.
We have, obviously an elevated sense of alert. We don't have a lot of direct involvement, specifically with the marathon and the marathon security planning.
Boston and state police do, however, meet with local schools like Suffolk and neighboring Emerson before runners reach the finish line.
We're handling security for the universities, give us an update on what the plans are as far as Boston Police Department, the state police, and other area police departments in terms of their security, so that we're aware of what they're doing.
The Boston Athletic Association is urging spectators not to bring any coolers, backpacks, or props to the race. So if you're going to the Red Sox game, guys, I wouldn't really bring any gloves, bats, or any baseballs, just to be safe.
And when does the game start and when does it finish?
Starts at 11 a.m. They usually last around 3.5 hours-ish, so maybe like 2:30 they'll head down to Boylston.
Okay, we'll make sure to look out for you. Thanks, Tyler. Runners will take to Hopkinton at the starting line on April 20th for the 2015 Boston Marathon. Among those being protected in this year's marathon is Suffolk University alumna Nicole Digon.
It is her first time running a full marathon. Nicole is an office coordinator in the Student Leadership and Involvement Department. She has been training since February, unlikely for a marathon runner, but she says the end time isn't on her mind, crossing the finish line is.
This is something that I never thought that I could do. So being able to cross the finish line successfully, I don't even care about what time, just being able to cross, I think I'm going to feel extremely proud.
Nicole will be running for the Alley Foundation, an organization that fights to end sexual violence.
Marathon runners can now pound the pavement a little faster. This week, Brighton-based footwear company New Balance released another sneaker paying homage to its hometown. The sneaker has "Fasta" written across its outsole and inside the city's skyline. This shoe is limited edition, so you better make a run for it to Boylston Street to the New Balance store.
The MBTA has released a schedule for Marathon Monday. Copley Station on the Green Line will be closed for the day. The South Street, Kent Street, and St. Mary stops will be closed from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. All other trains will run on a regular weekday schedule. For more information about the Marathon Monday transit schedule, visit mbta.com/events. That's mbta.com/events. As for the future for the late night tea service, a decision has yet to be made. The MBTA will make its final recommendation to MassDOT about keeping the service next week on the 15th. MBTA General Manager Beverly Scott says she is eager to find out how the public feels about the program. The final decision, however, will be made by MassDOT. A decision on that should be made by mid-June.
Who let the dogs out? That's not exactly the question for Suffolk students. It's who put Snoop Dogg in the dog house. It's the social media controversy that Suffolk U News reporter Ava Hernandez is covering for us today.
Artist Jessie J will take the stage for Suffolk students this April, but it was Snoop Dogg who had the door closed on him after posting derogatory comments on social media.
We were made aware of comments that he had made on various social media sites that were not in line with the university's diversity statement and with the values of the university.
It's here at Royale nightclub in downtown Boston where SGA scheduled Snoop Dogg to perform for this spring concert. And SGA said the decision to cancel him as the performer was an easy one. But some students around campus have mixed feelings.
I can definitely see people taking offense to that, and I get why they would cancel for sure.
You know, Suffolk University is an education institution, and it has standards, and it has some regulations that it has to abide from.
I feel like the point of this was actually to sell tickets and make money for the school. Now that Snoop Dogg's not in it, I'm not going. He's not going. He's not going.
This year, the tickets for Jessie J are just not selling, and those responsible for selling the tickets explain the difference in sales between last year's concert and this year's concert.
I mean, last year was J. Cole, and I sold the tickets for that event, and they sold out within 2 hours.
SGA leaders say they stand by their decision. Eva Hernandez, Suffolk U News.
Less than half the tickets have been sold. If you want to go, you better be nice to a Suffolk student because you need a Suffolk ID or a Suffolk date to jam with Jessie J.
Customers in the checkout line will no longer be asked an age-old question.
Paper or plastic? Find out which grocery stores are going green. Also ahead, new research is bringing high hopes to the medical field. We'll break a new marijuana study connected to cancer research. And this research, funded by a familiar face. See who gets a buzz cut to benefit those battling cancer.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
It's something we all own, something we all receive, and something that's even here in our own studio.
It's plastic, and plastic bags are becoming more and more of a problem for cities and their environment.
But the real thing with plastic bags is there's no way to dispose of them. You're creating something that doesn't break down naturally, can't be broken down very easily.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, a phrase that has become popular in a movement to make the earth a cleaner place. But over the river and across the Longfellow Bridge, Cambridge is starting its own trend.
A bring your own bag ordinance.
A ban on all plastic bag distribution in supermarket and retail stores, with a $300 penalty if it's not followed. It's a message Cambridge City Councilors are hoping is just common sense.
It's a message about consumption and about the kind of unnecessary nature of that consumption. The U.S. uses 100 billion plastic bags a year. That would make Cambridge's share 32 million. That would mean that we are using, you and I, 1 bag per person per day.
Supermarkets and large retailers are permitted a year's extension before getting penalized by the plastic bag ban. But environmentalists are disappointed with this tactic as they've seen it fail before.
Way too often in environmental work, you hear this it's almost like a mantra. A regulation is proposed, something is done. And then this gets out in the open, and the other side of this is, oh, this will harm business. It will lose people jobs.
Cambridge City Councilors believe the population has an addiction to plastic bags, but are hopeful for a positive recovery, even assisting with reusable resources.
We can do this. We have this technology. Bags are inexpensive and they are readily available, and the city itself is planning to provide 10,000, especially to senior citizens and others who may not be able to afford their own.
The plastic bag ban does not go into effect officially until next year, but large retailers in Cambridge are being encouraged to stop ordering plastic bags in bulk now.
The majority of Boston residents live in apartments or condominiums. The same applies to our Suffolk University commuter students. Our partners at the Suffolk Journal have been investigating our commuters' living spaces.
I've been working with the Inspectional Services Department to see if they can give us stats and facts and figures on how many students have incurred violations living in Boston apartments.
Make sure to pick up the latest edition of the Suffolk Journal around campus and in the library to find out more about these violations and other interesting stories.
A study made by the National Institute on Drug Abuse confirmed marijuana holds medicinal value.
A few states around the country have already passed laws permitting the use of marijuana for medicinal purposes. The National Institute on Drug Abuse says that smoking marijuana can help alleviate pain related to cancer, headaches, and other pain extremities. For some students here at Suffolk University, siblings of cancer patients are embracing the use of medical marijuana. I would support my sister if she chose to get a medical marijuana permit because she has an autoimmune disorder, which a lot of the symptoms of it can be alleviated with the medical marijuana. Other qualifying conditions to obtain medical marijuana include glaucoma, HIV, and other debilitating medical conditions.
Still to come, cuts for a cause.
A local leader is pledging his support to fight cancer by shaving it all off, and more than 500 people joined him. See how one morning in Quincy turned into millions of donations to Dana-Farber.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
A company in Quincy is standing up to cancer one buzz cut at a time.
Among those sporting a new do, Governor Charlie Baker. Suffolk News reporter Ashley Cullinane has more on the fundraisers that raised millions for cancer research.
Hair today gone in just a few minutes for Megan Murray. She's losing her locks at the Saving by Shaving cancer charity event.
It's great. I'm hoping again that it inspires a lot of people.
Granite Telecommunications organized the fundraiser for the second year in a row.
No, it's great. I'm hoping again that it inspires a lot of people.
So the company is donating $5,000 per person, and with 500 people here, that makes for a grand total of $2.5 million for Dana-Farber.
The buzz this year was about Governor Charlie Baker, the governor going for a crew cut, smiling as he says goodbye to his once perfect coif.
You might want to go permanent with that from now on.
But the governor was just one among many, young and old, hundreds of bald heads, spreading support to those who don't get to choose.
Cancer research is so important right now, and it's just so prevalent in all of our lives that we just really want to make sure that we put our best foot forward to help and support and give everybody the opportunity to fight this awful disease.
Big hearts and a really big check. Ashley Cullinane, Suffolk U News.
In addition to the $2.5 million raised by employees, the company donated $500,000 for Governor Baker's head shaving. That makes a $3 million donation to Dana-Farber. Now, Vanessa, I don't have much hair on my head, so I don't know how much I'd be able to donate, but definitely a great cause by Charlie Baker.
Yes, definitely. I know in high school I wanted to cut off my hair for Locks for Love, but it was going to be 1 inch too short. So hopefully another time I can do it again.
Hopefully.
The snow is melting fast, but it was the rain that changed the plans for the annual Roslindale Easter egg hunt.
This year, Roslindale had to be a little creative. Instead of picking eggs from a field, parents and children walked into the streets in search for sweets from local businesses in Roslindale. The egg hunt provided close to 6,000 eggs for children to find, crack open, and enjoy.
That does it for this edition of Suffolk U News. Thank you for joining us. I'm Vanessa Bine.
And I'm Davison Perez. Be sure to keep watching our newscast coming to you from the school at the heart.
In the heart of the city. As we say goodbye, we take you back to Roslindale, where some baby goats put a little spring in kids' steps, bringing some smiles back to a rainy Easter weekend.